Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, baby. Okay, thank you so much for joining us once again, you guys. Let us just cut straight into it, right? So today I figured I actually shot part 1 and part 2 of my birth and delivery story at a government or public hospital. So I felt that, you know what, it was only right for me to actually conclude that video because I feel like I just left you guys hanging and I did not, finish it off. But again, anyway, let me just shoot whether banda, whether shisa or anything because I need to post, okay? And you guys have been waiting. And you guys, thank you so much for all the new subscribers. I did see that I have a couple of subscribers that recently joined us. So I know that you guys might not know what I'm talking about, but unfortunately, please do go back to part 1 and part 2 of my birth and delivery story at a public hospital in South Africa, okay? So the last time that I spoke to you guys regarding this matter, I think I left it off where I was now moved to maternity 2 or mat 2. That's how they call it at the hospital. And here I was taking my phone, taking snaps and everything because I thought, I just delivered a new baby and it was healthy and I was happy. And I wanted to share, of course, all the pictures with, my loved ones. But child, as I was attempting to do that, the nurse actually came in and said because I think it was like what, 6 of us in the room or, whatever. So then she was like, my phone's nagging gun. And I was like, are they talking to me? At that time, everybody was just staring at me because honestly, I just moved in. I just got a bed and nobody told me that you're not allowed to take phones, out and take selfies or whatever. So initially, if you had to take a picture, you had to take a snap privately or else try to shooting I did not know that, okay? And then I asked this lady next to me, what is she talking about, Yabo? So she tells me, no, if you carrying a phone, July, they get very mad because obviously your priority is the child. Now they feel like if you're busy with snaps, something might happen to the child or whatever the case may be, right? So then I knew very quickly, I was not allowed to take pictures or anything. So I did not take pictures moving forward. But honestly, if they were not in the site, I did take pictures, because out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Okay, don't get that. But yeah, I actually did take pictures and privately, that is. So, and again, you guys, I do applaud you for actually because I feel like one thing that they prioritize lapana, they really prioritize you making sure that you breastfeed your baby to the best of your ability, because also they kept on checking on us, is the baby latching, are you able to breastfeed the way that you're supposed to? Because mind you, number one, if ingane yakho, let's just say you came into mat 2 and your child was weighing 3.75 or let's just say 4 kgs, just an example, right? And you find that when they do the checkups or the rounds and the doctor comes and they find Ugutinganeko is actually weighing now less than 4 kgs, you're in trouble, okay? So if you honestly feed your baby well and if you have issues and you do report, maybe let's just say the baby's not latching or you feel that the baby's not, breastfeeding well, you just go straight to them and then they try and assist you and, whichever way they can. So now if ingane, you're busy on the phone, and you find that if the baby now the weight is instead of going up, you will not be going home, right? So then the whole time they made sure that we did take care of babies, make sure that you breastfeed them, because then after a while you find that they're gonna check. Now they do have, I don't know what you call that thing, you guys, but they do check like or else just to check if the baby's weight is picking up and whatnot. So they're sort of like gonna prick the baby on the what you call is tender. What do you call is tender, guys? Okay, yeah, but basically they're gonna prick the baby underneath the foot, and then that's supposed to tell them now if the baby's doing well, or maybe there's a concern, then they need to call in a doctor or whatever the case may be. So thank God with me, my baby was latching, though I did feel like he wasn't at first, because also I just because the baby is very young, man, it's very small, so you'd expect the baby to be breastfeeding for like hours and hours on end, but it was not like that. So luckily when they did do the prick on my child, they found that okay, everything was fine and my baby was doing well. So I was happy at the time because I knew that, it means I'm going home the next day. So fine, we sleep eventually, and you find that in the odd hours of the morning, they will again wake you guys up, make sure that you guys feed baby. Because remember, you also new to this whole thing, you guys. are not really used to having this person who's not dependent on you. So they did shame wake us up in the morning and show that we do feed baby and baby is well, and the diapers change and everything that we need to do. And also the other thing that they do on the second day that I was there is that eventually when you guys are preparing now that, okay, yeah, if everything of mine is going well, I will be going home, that you do sort of like the doctors come in and other specialists just to make sure that they check on baby to ensure that everything is as it should be, right? So you basically take off all the clothes from baby, and you also yourself, obviously it's your child, so you go with baby. They take whatever measurements or tests that they need to take, and then you go into this room separately, you and the baby, and then you find that they're going to be these two specialists, or however many specialists they're going to be, and you strip baby. Remember, baby's like butt naked at this point. So they sort of like check everything from your fingers, that the baby has 10 fingers and 10 toes, and the hair is growing well, the eyes, and every single detail. Like they literally are going to be twisting and turning baby and taking all the tests and the necessary checks that they need to do. And also with you as well as the mother of the child. Once they're done with the child, then they're going to come onto you. That's where, now remember, you had I gave birth naturally, so I'm not sure if you're a cesarean mother, what do they do, but for me as well, they do check you. You also sort of like take everything out, so you basically in your birthday suit at this point, they make sure that they check the belly, they check your area down there, if everything's doing well, if you're not abnormal in any way or form. So once you do that, then they tell you that, listen sister, we got these types of contraceptives, which one are you choosing? So literally you don't even have a choice to be like, okay, no, I'm gonna think about it. No, they do not. They literally, you have to choose right there and then which one you want, and then it's on, right? So which, when I was there at that time, I thought that was quite unfair that they make you choose this whole thing. I mean, they didn't even tell you that you were supposed to choose or anything, but looking at it now, I feel like that was actually such a good thing to do, because they do understand that after a while you're going to be so sore because of the stitches or whatever, that you will not have time to be going up and down hospitals or clinics getting shots or whatever it is that you would have chosen at the time. So I think what you need to know when you go into a public hospital is that you will be given a contraceptive whether you've said you want it or not. Or at least at the time I felt intimidated, like I didn't have time to be like, oh no, I'm going to think about it, because I mean there's like 6 of us, so we need to move, you need to choose pick your struggle. They give you whatever it is that's due to you, and you're off. So then, yes, indeed, I chose whatever it was that I was comfortable with at the time, or rather I chose something that I'd used before, because I thought, I mean, I've used this thing before, it shouldn't be an issue with me. Because I know with some people that actually have so many issues when it comes to the contraceptives. You find that our bodies obviously are not the same, therefore you're going to be maybe having side effects afterwards or whatever. So I chose whatever I chose, and then I was out the door, and then they said, okay, fine, because you're good to go. And another thing, you guys, that I forgot to mention is that when you're there, when you've gotten whatever it is that you chose, they also give you CDs and every other contraceptive that there is, in terms of, now you know what I'm talking about. I cannot be really telling you guys what it is, because I don't know, YouTube might be having issues with this. So they give you the CDs that tell you, listen, from now onwards, it does not mean now that you've gotten whatever it is, whether shots, whether implant or whatever, you need not to use the CDs. They do encourage that you do use them, honestly, you guys. And I feel like, again, as I did mention that when I was there at the time, I just thought, but why, but now that I'm sitting here, I'd actually like to give them around 50, because I think honestly, the thing is, you haven't given birth in such a long time, or maybe your first time or whatever, you do not know the pain that was still to follow. Okay, because I tell you guys, so eventually I did my thing, I got discharged. And when you get discharged, you guys, there's like a form. Now that form, you guys, again, when you're at the situation, you do not see the importance of it. But then when you're out of it and you're thinking about it at home or wherever, you realize that, they actually hit the nail on the head. Because this form here, you guys, is written all your particular details. Because remember, when you give birth, the baby gets like a bracelet or anklet that they put on with all the details and, all the nitty-gritties, basically, basically regarding your baby and yourself. And that form too is also written, like all your documents, baby's documents, the nurse who was in charge of, delivering the baby, and all these things. So when you leave there, you guys, you need to make sure that security, firstly, you do not just rock out and be gone. You need to go through a security check where the security needs to write your details and baby's details on this other book that she has there. Well, it was a she in my situation. And then they also have to sign somewhere in the form. So I guess this was like a release form of some sort, so they had to sign that form, and then fine, this is just like the door now, the exit, you exiting mat 2. So then of course, you guys, the security signs and everything is well. They wish you well, you out the door. And then when you get to the main gate now, the security, if there is a small baby in the car, they will check, because honestly, they do check whether baby's there or not, because you find that if you have a boot, they're going to open the boot. If you're using a van, they will be checking also at the back and everything. So they check, and then if they find that there is baby inside, they will want to see this form now that they will be signing as well, just to authenticate that, listen, we did see there's so-and-so, there's an ID, there's this, everything matches what it's supposed to match, and then you sign the form and then you leave it there with the securities. I'm thinking the securities have to now take the form back to the Met ward or whatever, just to say that, listen, we did see this baby, so and so did come out with this baby. So now I guess that prevents people from stealing babies and all these kind of securities as well. So then from there on, as you go home, now again, a tip, you guys, when you are discharged, or when you know that you are now shopping because you're about to go give birth, please ensure that you do have coarse salt, because if you do not have coarse salt, you will be so sorry. I'm saying that because personally, I had Himalayan salt, not that I did not want to have coarse salt. I just did not have the time. I don't know, for some reason, I did not prepare this coarse salt, and so I was using Himalayan salt, and child, it did not make a difference at all. Well, I thought it was, but it did not make a difference. And until I had to get the coarse salt, which really, really, really made a difference, you guys. I think I used it like 3-4 times, and I was feeling so much better. Because remember, from the time you're giving birth, you still have stitches, they're still new, and everything is still numb, so you do not feel the pain until now, say 3 days afterwards. Then you're going to be like, it's really going down in here. Okay, so you will be feeling the pain, and but obviously if you do have the coarse salt, and you do everything that you were told to do, then I guess you will recover. Now also, expectancy recovery time would be, I think, say 4 to 6 weeks, for you to be like, listen, I can run a marathon. Okay, so I think what you really need to do is just to take it easy. I'm not saying do not walk at all, because remember, you need to also train the body, because you cannot just be like tied up onto the bed the whole time. You need to wash at times. You need to, especially like me, I do not have like any family member here, so it's just me. And also I couldn't go because I have my daughter who was in school, and yeah, lots of things. So honestly, ensure that you do sort of like practice just walking around, so that your body doesn't necessarily just sort of like give up and be like, what, we are bed bound and that's it and that's life. So honestly, you guys, you need to try and practice walk here and there. There's like washing that needs to be done. I'd also encourage you, if to get that hanging thing that you can actually put inside the house or in your balcony, or just right there next to your door if you're maybe downstairs, or so that you can make life easier for yourself. You don't have to walk to the washing line somewhere far away. And also another thing that I would encourage you to have is, of course, have lots of water, because if you're breastfeeding, you will need fluids in your body. You will need the water, trust me, because you get thirsty very quickly and all the time. So I literally sat with like 2 liters of water, and I made sure that I finish the water and it really helped me, you guys, also in terms of milk supply and everything. So if you guys would have any questions also regarding anything that you want to know regarding my experience at the public hospital, do drop your comments or your questions down below. I will try and answer them as honestly as possible. But also, you guys, if you feel like you are the private or the public hospital gang, do give the video a like, okay? Because I do know that you guys, a lot of people have negative comment or experiences when it comes to the public sector. But for me, as I did mention to you guys, that I did not have a choice. I just had to deal the cards to play the cards I was dealt, because I did have medical aid, but for some reason my things just did not make sense at the time. So it came to a time where I had to go deliver, and I was like, child, this thing is the same. Eventually, these people sat exactly next to the people that are probably working in the private sector. The only difference is that they're employed in public and they are employed in private. So for me, that's what I just told myself, because I know that the experiences and the stories that you guys are going to hear are daunting sometimes and scary, because personally, I also did my research before I went there, because I'm not even going to lie with you guys. I was kind of like, scared just a bit, but I was like, you know what? I also work in the public sector, and my friend who sat right next to me are working in the private sector. Is there any difference between us? No, it's just that I was hired by public and they were hired by private. So that's literally what I had to tell myself in order for me to go there and have a good experience, honestly. And I would really like to applaud, if there's anyone who works or knows nurses from the public clinic that I went to, you guys keep up the good work. I'm not even gonna lie, because I've been thinking of just getting them like some bouquet of flowers, a card or anything, just to thank them, you guys, because I feel like they made my experience so much better as opposed to what I hear from other people who give birth in other hospitals. And really, I think it's something that I should do, because my baby was fine, I was fine, perfectly healthy, latched correctly, properly, fed well, until I reached a time where I had to stop breastfeeding, because obviously I went back to work. So honestly, I really would like to applaud you. I think you guys are doing an amazing job, and do keep it up, because I know very often that you guys do not get the flowers, because we just tend to look at you guys in one spectacle, in one way of saying it's a public sector. Oh my God, do not go there. And I'm not saying that people need not to go to their private sector if you do have medical aid or you do have the coins. If you do have the coins, do have the medical aid, I think by all means, and you want to go to a private sector, by all means, I mean, make your way there. But also, if you are someone who now does not have the funds and the means to go to a private sector, I would also encourage you guys to try out the public sector. But one thing that I would encourage you to do is to go there with a clean slate, like a fresh mindset. Do not take what you hear and then automatically think it's going to happen to you, because also it's a different stroke for different folks. And I think another thing that I would encourage you guys is that when you go there, learned or not learned, do not go there and think that you're going to tell the nurses or the staff how to do their job because you went to university, you went to whatever it is. Just give them a chance, because remember, they also went to school for what they were doing, or they are trained to do what they're doing. So do not now just think that, oh child, she's not going to tell me this, she went to university, I went to just drop that mindset. Go there with a clean slate, and just go there knowing that they're doing their job and they're doing their best they can, obviously. And I think you will get good experiences. Now, thank you so much, you guys. I think this was actually the last part of the giving birth in a public hospital video that I'll be doing. I will not be doing any other one, because obviously now I've been discharged, I was at home, and I'm sure you get the drill. Once again, if you do not know what I'm talking about, please do go and check out my part 1 and part 2 of giving birth in a public hospital. And you guys, please don't forget to like this video, to write your comments, your experiences in the public hospital, and also, suggestions as well, you guys, because I know that I'm not the only one. Also, what I'm sharing here is my opinion and my experiences. I feel like some of you guys might have had good or better or even, bad experiences in the public sector, but let's just have the conversation. Maybe what is it that you can encourage others to do? And maybe how did you experience giving birth in a public hospital? Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video. And also, I'd like to thank all of you guys for subscribing to my channel, and thank you for all the recommendations, as I did see that the growth is actually it's pleasing at this point. And you guys are actually encouraging me to carry on shooting, because honestly today the weather was like, oh no ma'am. But I just thought that, because people come into the channel wanting to see content, wanting to see videos, it would be wrong of me not to shoot. Now, thank you so much, you guys, for watching once again. I love you. Bye.